Hey everyone, welcome to the Roto Grinders Morning Grind Podcast. I'm your host, Stevietpfl. It's Tuesday. It's January 9th. It is 2024. We have a nice little 5-game NBA slate to talk about here on today's podcast, joined by my good buddy, Timothy Buell. You all know him in the DFS streets as TastefulTides. Tim, what's happening, my friend?
Yeah, not much, Stevie. Looking forward to another great show with you. And watching a little college football on my monitor. And I'm rooting for Michigan. I don't know about you, but I'm rooting for blue.
Yeah, so I bet on Michigan, so I'm rooting for them. I've watched absolutely no minutes of this football game. I turned it on when I sat down to do the podcast with you. My daughter has volleyball on Monday, so yeah, I haven't watched any of the game. Honestly, I don't care that much. I hope Michigan wins because I bet on them. That's about it.
Yep. Yeah, I don't really care that much either, but I am rooting for Michigan.
Yeah, longtime listeners of the podcast know that I'm a huge Gator, and honestly, Washington, Michigan just doesn't do it for me. So we're hoping it's a good game for everyone to enjoy because, I mean, that's what the college football championship should be. National championship. So anyway, 5 NBA games. Good NBA night for me on Monday so far.
Nice.
Crushed the prop streets, which is always great. Didn't build any DFS teams outside of building some pick'em stuff. So pick'em and props went really well. If Middleton, which he just did get over, it's a full 7-0 sweep for me in props tonight. So I'm happy about that.
Wow. Great job.
Good night. Yeah, good night. So Jalen Williams did his thing. Gafford. Gafford made a sweat for it, but he eventually got there with his 9-9 night at his 17.5. So let's keep it rolling. We've had a good Monday. Let's have a good Tuesday. Hope everyone's having a fantastic Monday night in YouTube chat. Thanks for hanging out with us. If you haven't already, subscribe to the Roto Grinders Morning Grind YouTube page. We appreciate it. Minnesota at Orlando. 218.5 total here. Minnesota a 5-point favorite in this game. On the Minnesota side, Clark is out still. Everybody else is good to go. Magic side, Wendell Carter Jr. is out. Gary Harris is out. Joe Ingles is out. Jonathan Isaac is out. And Franz Wagner is out. So we'll talk about the Magic in a second. We get two of the slower paced teams in the NBA facing off against each other here. Two good defensive teams. Do you like anything here from Minnesota?
I mean, not anything crazy, but I think Towns is too cheap. I think Anthony Edwards has become matchup proof. So at 9K, I think he's completely fine. I think Rudy Gobert at 7,100 is a little bit too cheap also. So those three guys for Minnesota, I'd be willing to take shots on. I think Edwards has a pretty big ceiling for 9K despite the tough matchup.
Yeah, I like Edwards in the pick'em and prop world, especially in this matchup. 9K, we need him to have that 55 plus game. We still have Anthony Davis on the slate. Luka, if he plays, depending on if we want to pay up for him or not. But I think there's enough in this range. I mean, Fox is getting Detroit, Brunson's getting Portland, and Edwards is getting Orlando. So to your point, though, Edwards is definitely going to be lower owned on the slate. So if you are chasing that large field tournament win, I get it. Outside of Edwards, I don't mind the cat call here. I think that if you wanted to take some shots on Karl-Anthony Towns, that's fine. Conley's playing good, but he's not really he's just playing good basketball. He's not playing good DFS basketball. Naz Reid is 5K now. I think for me on Minnesota, potentially taking some shots on Cat O Gobert and then potentially taking some props on Edwards is how I would look at Minnesota. On the Orlando side, there's enough bodies out, even in this slower, tough defensive matchup that I think we have to talk about some of these guys. Caleb Houston shot lights out the other night. He played big minutes. He's going to have to play big minutes again. Who's ever playing well between Mo Wagner and Goga is going to get minutes, but they might need both of those guys to play 25 plus minutes in this game. So
this game's going to play
It's going to play
That's
big. Yeah. So,
that's why I kind of like Gobert, and you know what I mean. Like this is going to be a big game. Like they'll play big here.
yeah, I mean, Paulo's going to crush. What are your thoughts on the Magic?
Yeah, Paulo's great. He's another guy who's pretty much become matchup proof. 9K, no Franz Wagner in this game, so 9K for him is great. I think Goga at 57, Mo Wagner 54 is great. I think 67 for Suggs and 63 for Anthony is too expensive for this tough Minnesota defense. Houston, this is going to be a completely different setup for him. This is going to be the best defense in the whole league he'll be facing, and he's not free anymore. But if we don't get other good value pieces, he would be worth taking a look at.
Yeah. So for me, when it comes to Orlando, Anthony Black has been like in and out of the lineup dealing with like some illness and stuff. Does he come back potentially and take minutes in this spot from a guy like Houston? Has Houston played well enough to like continue those minutes, and Black kind of loses the minutes? Fultz is getting back now too. He played 15 minutes in his return the other night. So overall for the Magic, gotta have interest in Paulo because his usage rate is through the roof with Franz off the floor. But I think like these secondary pieces, it's like Goga, Mo Wagner, and then like you said, Houston's not free anymore. But I think that it depends on how many teams you're playing. If you're building one team, I don't think you have to go there. If you're building 150, I think you got to ride the hot hand and hope he shoots well again. If you're not playing him, maybe you're taking some shots on like Anthony Black. Sacramento at Detroit, 242 total in this game. Kings an 11-point favorite in this one. On the Kings side, Trey Lyles is questionable. On the Detroit side, Cade Cunningham is already ruled out for this game. Monte Morris is out. Isaiah Stewart remains out. We'll start here with Sacramento. Fantastic matchup for Sabonis and Fox if Detroit can keep this game close.
Right. That's the big F, right? De'Aaron Fox is way too cheap at 9,300. He really sticks out to me as like the top play. That's a super cheap tag for him. So I love the spot for him. I love the spot for Sabonis. Got to look at some cheaper guys too, like Monk and Murray. And then you also have to think about who they play like in a blowout situation. So like, Lyles, Mitchell, guys like that in large field GPPs, right? Duarte.
Yeah, I mean, Duarte is always somewhat interesting when he has that like 25-minute role. We have a lot of value on the slate. There's a lot of big injuries on this slate. I mean, even on the other side of this game, Cade Cunningham being out is huge. So
right.
I don't know if I get down to a guy like Duarte on this slate. I mean, maybe if Lyles sits too, but I think for me, getting exposure to Sabonis and Fox, definitely.
Yeah.
And then potentially going, all right, maybe like taking some shots on like a Keegan Murray. Detroit is so bad. They're so incredibly bad. Monk and Murray.
But like for me though, it's like, how is this game going to stay close without Cade? So like, who's going to mop up for Sacramento?
Yeah, I mean, it's a fantastic question. Let's talk about Detroit. With Cade off the floor this year, the biggest bump has been Jalen Duren. He sees the biggest increase in usage and production when Cade's off the floor. Bojan's going to get more usage. Jaden Ivey's going to get more usage. Of all people, Alec Burks is going to get more usage. So, I mean, Sacramento is not this like end-all defensive team. So it's not like, this is a Sacramento team that's ranked 21st in defense with rating. So this game is going to be fast-paced. We got two teams in the top 11 in pace. Sloppy defense. Cade Cunningham out. I mean, we got to be looking at Detroit here.
Is it Killian Hayes? Is he going to be the best play at 4,500?
I think it's Jaden Ivey.
Okay. All right. So
but I don't think there's a wrong answer between Hayes and Ivy because they both see such an increase. I think it's just
Right.
who's playing better tomorrow night.
I just saw the cheaper tag on Hayes, at
Right.
4,500, but Ivy at 6,300. Even Bogdanovich is at 67. Don't think I want to waste a center spot on Duren, even though he could easily smash. But I love Sabonis in this matchup.
Yeah, I
So
think Sabonis over Fox for me, and then running it back with some of these like wings and guards. Running it back with like a Bojan, running it back with an Ivy, running it back with a Burks or a Hayes. I'm with you on that. I don't think I want to use the center spot on Duren. I'll be lying to you though if I don't look at like his rebound point prop tomorrow though. Very interested in like his. I looked before the podcast and it wasn't up yet, but if he comes in at like that 20 to 22 mark for points and rebounds, I think that's a really good number you should try to take advantage of. We'll see where it's at when it comes out tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
Anything else we should mention here on Detroit? I don't think like Kevin Knox or these guys are like worth taking shots on.
No.
Maybe Isaiah Livers minutes wise.
I was thinking like a Sarah Thompson in case of a blowout. He'd probably get mop up duty, right?
Yeah. Livers is already a guy that's been playing really solid minutes lately, so I would probably lean him over Thompson. I think Thompson probably has a higher ceiling though.
Right, yeah. I think so too.
All right. I'm so quickly looking to see if the props have been posted yet for this game. All right, moving on. We have Portland at New York facing the Knicks. This game has a 227 total. The Knicks are an 11.5-point favorite. On the Portland side, Ayton is doubtful. Moses Brown is out. Thibault and Jabari Walker are questionable, and Williams remains out. Mitch Robb is out for New York. We'll go Portland here first. Walker, Brown, Thibault, Ayton, all potentially missing. Definitely opens up a role for a guy like Diop Reith to play 30 to 35 minutes. I know he played 41 minutes against Brooklyn the other night. But like with all of these guys questionable or doubtful, if they all end up getting ruled out, he's the big man. They don't want to play Badgie. So I think Reith becomes one of the top like value centers on the slate.
Yeah, I mean they bumped his price up to 5,500, but that's not enough in my opinion. If all these guys sit, so he's going to play a ton of minutes. So he is a smash play at 5,500. I don't mind getting to Scoot Henderson. I don't mind getting to Jeremy Grant at 69 either.
I hate playing Grant.
Me too.
Oh, he is one of the most tilting players in the NBA for me. Like he just doesn't. I love playing his under rebound prop, but outside of that, like he's turned into this like all I want to do is score role, and it's so tough because he's just not filling the stat sheet anymore.
Yeah, his peripherals are not there this season.
So, I mean, I hear what you're saying when it comes to playing him, and like he's one of the better options on this team if we're just looking at a 5-game slate. But gosh, I hate playing that guy. I'd rather just I'd rather find the money for Simons and just hope that Simons has that ceiling game.
I didn't even notice how cheap Simons was at 7,700.
He has been struggling recently.
Well, I mean, last game he did really well. He shot 13 for 25. I mean, he does have a ceiling at 77.
Oh, no, I agree. I think he has a ceiling too. So,
yeah.
Knicks side. What do we like here for New York?
Yeah, so really good spot for Julius Randle under 9K. So he'd probably be my favorite. Brunson at 91 is getting a little bit pricey. I think Randle, and that's basically it, assuming everybody else is healthy. Yeah. So don't really have any interest in OG or Dante or Josh Hart. So really it's just Randle for me.
Good spot for Randle. Just a really good spot for him. Definitely interested in Julius Randle here. Kind of in this like top tier again of just looking at these studs. Hartenstein, like, I think he's a really solid play for a 5-game slate. Like, if you're not going up to a Sabonis on a build and you just want a guy that you know is going to probably get you a consistent, like, 35 plus, I think this would be the spot you are taking some shots on him. The other one I wanted to mention, like, his minutes kind of fluctuate, but the price is okay depending on like what we have for value by the end of the day. DiVincenzo is playing about 25 to 30 minutes right now a night since the trade has happened for the Knicks. So does he get a little extra run in a blowout? Maybe. Is he first guy off the court? Probably not. So I think you could potentially take some shots on DiVincenzo. And for all of our sports bettors out there, definitely a good spot to look at like Jalen Brunson's 3-point prop. Good spot for that. So check that out. If it comes in at like 2.5, 1.5 would be phenomenal, but I don't think it'll come in at 1.5 unless you're paying a lot of juice and then you bet the alt line. All right, we got Memphis at Dallas, 234.5 total here. These are our two games that have totals over 230. Mavs a 8-point favorite in this game. Memphis side, Adams remains out. Sante is doubtful. Brandon Clark's out. Jaren Jackson Jr. is questionable. Ja Morant out for the season. Hated to see that news. Just got back and was playing well. Derrick Rose is out. Luka's probable. Exum's out. Kleber, Lively are both out as well. Let's go Memphis first. It's
Desmond Bane season, Stevie.
I think it's Marcus Smart season.
I think it's Desmond Bane season.
But we're getting Smart for $2,200 less than Desmond Bane, and Smart is someone that can fill up the assist and rebounds and steals. So, do we think Desmond Bane is going to score 10 to 15 more points, actual points than Marcus Smart, enough to pay off this price tag?
Yeah, I mean, I guess. I don't know. I mean,
I'm not saying that you can't play both of them.
You could play both.
Right.
But I still like Bane. I think he's got a huge ceiling in this matchup.
I think he has a huge ceiling for the rest of the season now.
Yeah. I mean, to get Bane under 9K for the rest of the season, you should probably just play him blindly, you know? But yeah, you're right about Smart. It's those two guys for definitely.
I mean, I think both of them are very much in play. Really, I mean, this is one of those spots where, like, if Triple J is out, I think you can play both of them and not like think twice about it. If he sits, I think this is a spot you can take some shots on, like a Williams at 4,300. He's super cheap. I don't know if I necessarily want to play Biyombo because Lively's out, Kleber's out. I could see this game going small. Grant Williams is back for Dallas, so I could see like it being a smaller game overall, where like a Zaire Williams maybe plays more than like a Tillman Biyombo type role. So I just think it's an interesting spot for Memphis if Triple J sits, because now we're looking at like Luke Kennard. Both Williams are in play, and they're all very cheap.
Yeah, I mean, I really love this game just in general, even with JJ in. I think this game is really good to attack.
Oh, yeah. Fun game to attack for sure. What do we like here for Dallas?
I mean, Kyrie has been playing amazing, and he's still under 9K. So I don't mind going back to him. Luka's seems a little too cheap for this matchup at 11.5. If you can afford that. Lively's out, so that opens up some minutes. But I don't really want to play Powell. Maybe a Derek Jones at 51. That might be
if a good. If the game goes smaller, I think Derek Jones Jr. gets 35 minutes.
That's what I'm saying too. Right, I agree. These cheaper pieces, I really don't have any other interest in.
I don't think Josh Green gets enough usage.
No.
Minutes wise, Josh Green, Derek Jones Jr., they're going to play really solid minutes in this game because of Lively being out. But the thing that we got to remember here is like Grant Williams comes back here and plays 20 minutes. That's what he played the other night against Minnesota when he came back. So that's gonna eat in somewhere. I I wish they'd play Prosper more. Why call him up if
Mhm.
you're not going to give him a little bit more run? But I would love to see him get some more run, but until he gets more run on a consistent basis, I don't think we can recommend taking a ton of shots on him. So I think Kyrie over Luka. I know it sounds weird, but like when you're considering price,
Yeah.
ceiling wise, Luka has the highest ceiling on the slate when it's a 5-game slate like this. So
I love playing a 2-2. I love playing a 2-2 in this game, like Kyrie, Bane, Smart, Jones, or something like that. It's super easy to do.
oh yeah. All right, we finish out this slate with Toronto at LA taking on the Lakers. 232 total in this game. Lakers a 5-point favorite. On the Toronto side, Jakob Poeltl's out. Otto Porter Jr. is doubtful. On the Lakers side, Hachimura is doubtful. LeBron is questionable. Anthony Davis is probable. Get rid of the questionable tags. Love it.
Who draws the start for Pirtle? Boucher?
I would assume it's him, or
If it's him, I love him.
They could use Jonte Porter though too.
Yeah. If it's Boucher, I want to play Boucher badly, and he's power forward eligible also.
It's so tough to kind of guess. I mean, they're going to need size in this game because of Anthony Davis.
Right.
So, I mean, whether it be, Boucher is 4,500. Jonte Porter is 3,100. So I think whoever draws the start is solid. My question that I was thinking about pre-show before we got rolling here, could they just move Siakam and play Siakam at the 5?
Mm-hmm.
And start like a Gary Trent or a Dennis Schroeder and play that type of lineup and just, hey, Siakam's going to play AD, RJ Barrett, LeBron, or RJ Barrett, Scotty Barnes, LeBron, Prince type of role. So I think starting lineup with this being like a standalone 10 o'clock game is really interesting, and I don't think we'll get it before 8:30.
No chance.
But the thing I want to mention is just like how we should take some shots here on Quickly. This is a really good spot for Quickly going up against like Reddish and Reeves type of role. And
yeah,
we saw him in the last like really close game against Sacramento get 38 minutes. The other night against the Golden State, like I know it was 133, 118, but that game wasn't as close as that box score showed. What are your thoughts on Quickly and the rest of the Raptors here?
I love the Quickly call. We've seen Barnes' usage drop a little bit, but still 8,700. Huge ceiling at that price tag. If Siakam does play the 5, I absolutely love him at 8K. I think you can take shots on Boucher, even if you don't know if he's starting or not. I think they're going to need his size.
Yeah, I don't mind taking shots on Boucher, starting or not. So I'm with you on that. I Quickly would be my main target here. And then like if you're gonna roll the dice on like who is starting with like 2-hour gap between like this game and the Mavericks game, and say, hey, I'm gonna take some shots on maybe a guy like RJ Barrett or Schroeder who could potentially play more if this game goes smaller.
Right.
And then if it doesn't, like you could pivot to doing a little bit like, there's so much you could pivot to, like risk wise. You could play Christian Wood, who's like 44, who's kind of in the same price as Boucher. You're only going to get 15 to 18 minutes out of Christian Wood, but like he is a guy that can average 2 fantasy points per minute if you're behind and heading into that game, and Boucher doesn't start. So, a lot that you could potentially pivot with. Let's talk about the Lakers. I personally think this is in a fantastic spot for AD. I know it's a tough defensive matchup, but these are the types of games that I love playing AD in. Close, competitive games where he's going to get 35 to 40 minutes. These are the games I love AD in.
And he's only 1. Like, to me, that just seems way too cheap. So, yeah, I love AD. And he's got power forward eligibility, too. So, he should be able to really do what he wants against this Raptors team, for sure. I love AD.
Anything else here from the Lakers we should talk about?
Pretty easy no for me on LeBron and Reeves and Russell. So I don't think so, Stevie.
Reeves has gotten to the point where like he has 40 plus point upside, so you could take shots on him in tournaments. But now like he needs that 40 plus because he's 7,400. So is Reeves going to go out and have those good games? Well, yeah, he is. I mean, he gets hot from shooting from the 3-point line. You know, he's a guy that can instantly rack it up. Cam Reddish's minutes have been all over the place lately. I think I'd avoid him. I think that's it for me on the Lakers.
This team is kind of all over the place in general. Yep. So, yeah.
Oh yeah,
I don't love it.
They don't know what they want to do right now.
No.
I mean,
they don't. I'm just sticking with AD, and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, Prince is gonna play 30 minutes sitting in a corner, playing defense. But yeah, I mean, you're gonna get a lot of your actual scoring from AD, LeBron, and Reeves. It's just whether or not Reeves has that like stealing game or not. I do think like eventually Vanderbilt might get like more 20-25 minute role. I know they've been like teetering him in like the 16 to 20 minutes. I think eventually he ends up playing like 25 minutes a night, and I think we want to continue to watch that because he's under 4K. But I also think we have a ton of value on the slate. We're not going to need it. So
if LeBron sits, would you rather have Quickly or Reeves?
Reeves.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh, man. There's just Austin Reeves is not a good defender, and Cam Reddish is not a great defender. So like Quickly, I don't know. I probably lean a little Quickly there, but I mean,
I'd go Reeves personally, but
I think the usage bump for Reeves if LeBron sits, but we don't think LeBron's going to sit. So
no.
Yeah. Anyway, if he does sit, I think that would be like going through court IQ and looking at like Reeves's numbers. Off the top of my head, I don't know who gets the biggest bump. I would assume AD gets the biggest bump with LeBron off the floor.
Yeah, I would assume so.
I'm pulling it up now because you made me curious. So yeah, I mean LeBron off the floor. Anthony Davis is 1.55. Reeves is 1.15, and D'Angelo Russell is 1.2. So, I think it'd be Reeves.
Yeah.
All right, let's play the morning grind game, and then we'll get out of here. Quick 5-game slate, nice little podcast. Favorite play under 5K to go 7X. We got some options today. Who do you got?
We do have options on the slate. I'll go under 4K.
Under 5K to go 7X.
I'll go Killian Hayes.
Yeah, I think that's a great option. I'm going to go Vince Williams from Memphis. I like him whether or not Triple J plays or not. Triple J's out. He's one of the best value plays on the slate. Over 8K to go under 5X. Who's your bust today?
I'll go LeBron.
I am going to go with Anthony Edwards. I think he's just in a weird price range today. Tough matchup against my Magic. But I'll say I do think like he's not going to get 10 rebounds again. So if he goes out and he scores like 35 actual points, I still think that I have a chance to keep him under 5X in this spot. Favorite 6X play. Who do you got today?
I will go with Kyrie.
All right. Yeah, I don't mind that one. I mean, so many people we could choose from for this question, but I'm going to go with my boy, Jaden Ivey. I think that he's going to ball out here with Cade Cunningham out. Let's get weird. GPP play of the day. Who do you got for us?
I will go with Mo Wagner.
I like it. I'm going to go to center as well. This one might not be weird. I just don't think people like playing Isaiah Hartenstein. So I'm going to take Isaiah Hartenstein today. We'll see what his ownership is.
I almost said him too.
Yeah, I might be on the bad side of ownership for him, but I do like this spot a lot for him today. Any bets pick 'em or props that you like here heading into the night?
I like Dallas -8.
All right, Dallas -8 over Memphis. Memphis very short-handed. I assume that's why you like that. And Luka's probable, so you're getting Luka, Kyrie versus a very short-handed Memphis team. So don't mind that at all. I already looked to see if Marcus Smart props were up. All they have up is Desmond Bane, so can't wait to see what Marcus
What's his point prop?
26.5.
Yeah, I figured it'd be pretty high.
So
he's gonna be popping in projections tomorrow.
I have 2 player props that I like for today's podcast that I'll give out that I'm going to end up writing up on Scores and Odds. So freebie for everybody that doesn't have a premium subscription to Scores and Odds. Jaden Ivey over 14.5 points. I'm jumping on that one right now because I think that it changed before the end of the day. And then Isaiah Quickly over 22.5 points and assists are the 2 that I jumped on during the podcast. So I think both of those have the potential to move. Hope it hits for everyone, and I hope we can have a good Tuesday. Tim, any final thoughts before we get you out of here so you can get some sleep?
Nope. Thanks, Stevie.
Yeah, thanks for powering through. Hope you feel better. Hope everyone has a fantastic Tuesday. We're back Wednesday talking basketball. Good luck, everyone. We'll see you then.